FlightBoss, bitch, you know, for sure. You're now listening to the Mind of an Antares Moon. I'm the Archangel Uriel, and I'm here to carry out God's duties, motherfucking responsibilities. God damn it. God damn it, God damn it. But let me hold on, let me chill out, let me calm down, let me regain focus. Let me get calm, cool, and collected. Let me make my voice a little bit more pleasant. Because right now, you're not going to get the information about Venus the right way if I'm using too much of my Mars. So let me set that aside real quick and get a little smooth for y'all motherfuckers so we can talk about Venus, which is pleasant, which is love, which is your feelings. And right now, I need people to understand that your emotions and feelings are two different things. There's a thin line between your emotions and feelings. Now let's talk about the females of the planetary alignments. Moon, which is your mother. Venus, which is the daughter. The sun, which is the father. Mercury, which is the son. The young son. Fast-paced, never want to settle down Hermes. You know what I'm saying? Now the son, the father. The Allah, the yeah. The sun. His mate, the moon. The moon got her own planetary circling system. She don't circle the sun like everything else. You know what I'm saying? But she's caught up in the binary system. So she's going along with the flow because she's the reflection of her man. Now, the moon got the mother that got the cycle and everything. That's the emotions. The daughter, Venus, that's the feelings. Now, there's a show called Lucifer out right now, and his name is Lucifer Morningstar in it, which is my brother. But I need people to watch that show because it gives you the correct understanding of the basis of the Lucifer character. Lucifer, the only thing they got wrong is Lucifer being the devil. Lucifer ain't the devil. And Lucifer and Satan isn't Lucifer. Those three different entities. Entirely different entities. So they got that part wrong. Lucifer isn't the devil. But, you know what I'm saying? He gets spilled on with plenty names, them kind of names. But, you know what I'm saying? Watch that show for yourself and you'll understand the premises of what's going on. And when do I come in, and when do Gabriel come in, and when do Michael come in, and Raphael come in, and, you know, we all do our part. You know what I'm saying? But, see, you can align that energy that Lucifer is carrying with Venus. One thing about the show is when he's saying to the show and how he hypnotizes everybody is he look into their eyes and he say, what is your deepest desires? That's his power. Now, that is his power. You know what I'm saying? All this fire and brimstone shit like that. Listen. If you a person who just now starting to get detached from all the programs and all the engineering that was hardwired in your framework of being in this mankind, if you just now being detached from that, this is a good show to watch. If you still attached to a lot of programs, don't watch this show. Because before you even get from point A to point B, you're going to have to figure out all the middle lines in between there. And it's going to be hard for you. Like, it's no point of doing that. So, but if you already high enough in consciousness to be aware of the light and the deepness of certain situations, subjects, and all that, this, that, and the third, then yeah, Lucifer is a good show to watch. It gives you an understanding of the premises of what Lucifer meant to God, which is our Father. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing bad or good about it. But one of the key phrases he say is, what is your deepest desires? And that's before he get ready to hypnotize you when he look into your eyes. Now, this deals with Venus, the morning star, which is the actual morning star. And it carries a feminine energy. You know what I'm saying? The outer grandmother is Neptune. They want to mix that with Poseidon in certain ways to get manifested in Poseidon, but it's the grandmother. You know what I'm saying? It's the grandmother of the outer planets. You know what I'm saying? Jupiter is the grandfather. You know what I'm saying? But we're not talking about them right now. I'm going to break that down and how that go a little in another video. But this video I'm going to put out, this is a Venus video before I put out the Venus through Science series, where I go through all Venus signs. But right now I just want to do a quick analysis on Venus. Now, like I said earlier, emotions and feelings are two separate things. Emotions is the moon. Your feelings is Venus. Deep desires, pleasures, love. You can love to a point that is bad for you. you could love, and you can have just enough love or hatred to the point that it is good for you. But Venus deals with this. Now, I need you to understand that the reason why I said the emotions and the feelings are two different things. And see, for some reason, when mankind lost their science, they lost understanding of this. So a lot of people are confused right now, thinking just because they have a lot of feelings, they're emotional. And a lot of things is going wrong right now too, because people think just because they're emotional that this means they're supposed to have a lot of feelings. Now, it doesn't work that way. You know what I'm saying? Look at it like this. Your moon, which is, it deals with the emotions. Now, your emotions could spark certain feelings. Certain emotions can spark certain hatred, certain hate feelings. Certain emotions can spark certain loving feelings. And Venus is how you feel. It's the closest thing, because you have to have a certain amount of feeling for something to actually love it, which that's the hierarchy of Venus. But the lower hierarchy of Venus is self-abuse. It's like self-abuse, overindulging. You know what I'm saying? Not using everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Having everything in moderation is the middle archetype of Venus. The higher archetype of Venus is love, prosperity, and happiness. The lower aspect of Venus is the self-indulgent, the self-hurting, the self-setback. You know what I'm saying? The not using everything in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Over-abusing something, overdoing something. You know what I'm saying? Being over-obsessive over things. You know what I'm saying? And anytime you use the lower archetype of Venus, this helped Mars kick in and put passion behind it to the point that you overdo what you shouldn't be doing. You know what I'm saying? So depending on your relationship in your own natal chart with Venus and Mars will allow you to understand how far you're going to go in certain balances. Is you going to go this far into love or this far into hate? You know what I'm saying? Now, another thing with Venus. Since it's the feel, this is going to be how you feel. Now, your emotions is the moon. Now, see, your emotions is not feeling. I'm about to explain to you how you separate emotions from feelings. Now, water signs. They say water signs is the emotional signs, right? But the only reason, let me go get the door. The only reason we can assess that they're emotional is because they spew a lot of feelings. Alright, now the only way we know the motherfucking water signs is emotional is because they spew a lot of feelings. But emotions and feelings are two separate things. Like I said, emotions can spark certain feelings. So if you a water sign and you're spewing a lot of feelings, then your emotional nature and your emotional stability is going to be erratic. You know what I'm saying? And you're going to have to get control of your emotions before you can get control of your feelings. Once you gain control of your emotions, any feelings that your emotions may strike, you're able to handle it and change the way you feel. But you're not going to be able to change the way you feel if your emotional nature is fucked up. So if your moon is in a fucked up situation in your natal chart, then you're not going to be able to contain these feelings that's coming at you that Venus has to deal with. But if and vice versa, if your Venus is fucked up, then you're not going to be able to understand all these feelings you have, and it's going to make your emotional nature erratic. So it's an imbalance. You know what I'm saying? So you have to understand it's a thin line between emotions and feelings. Cause you know what I'm saying? You could be a water sign, be a very emotional person, but if you got some good things in your natal chart that help you assert your emotional nature, then any feelings that attack you, you're able to overcome it. And nobody can make you feel any way about yourself but you. You know what I'm saying? That's what it all boils down to. Now, Venus is your pleasures, your love and your feelings, your feel for things. So this is why a lot of Venus and air signs may come across detached. Because they may come across that they want to think about their feelings before they go spewing it out. See, now, air signs is already the thinkers. So their emotional nature isn't quite there like a water sign. So they have to, their emotional nature is already thinking about it. So anytime they get feelings, it goes straight to their mental, and they have to think about what is they actually feeling, because their emotional stability is not there. It's in air. So it's here, there, to the point that it's not air. You can't even tie down into water unless you blend it like it's H2O. But then again, that's just a blend. I'm talking about air by itself. It's not, it doesn't get consumed by water. So and vice versa, a person, the way they feel about their thoughts is not going to get consumed about their emotions. Their feelings ain't going to get consumed about their emotions. Point blank period. Now, Venus and fire signs, you know what I'm saying? This right here, you have a love for the fire. You know what I'm saying? So, when a Venus is in a fire sign, you could burn something out that you love. You can overdo something that you love to do, to the point that you burn it out. To the point that it's in so many people's faces that no one won't be able to see it, because you done burnt it out of this reality and it went back to its natural state. So yeah, people may feel like you the truth, but you won't get credit for it. You know what I'm saying? You won't get credit for it because it's the fire. See, the thing about it is, a person that you're trying to show your love and appreciation to when you do have a Venus in a fire sign, see, it could come across to a person as aggressive, or come across to a person as it's overwhelming, it's too much, it's too hot and heated. So when you feel like a person is trying to distance themselves from you or need a room to breathe, you have to understand, as a fire in Venus, it's not necessarily you. It's just the love energy you carrying, or the appreciation for that person energy you carrying, could be overwhelming, and that person's spirit may not understand it, but that person's spirit may just need to take a breather for a second before it get burnt out, to the point that you could overexpress or over love or over appreciate to somebody, and that person will push that away, and you'll be like, damn, I'm doing everything for you. Why ain't I receiving a get back of affection or anything? 9 times out of 10, you can catch a Venus and fire person saying some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Now, a Venus and Earth sign, these people their love is grounded onto Earth. So these people love possessions and love material things, and feel they replace their love with things that they have love for. So if they love you, they're gonna gift you with something that they love, and something that they think you should know that they appreciate. So if you show them some type of energy that you taking lightly to whatever they're giving you, then they're not going to help you out anymore. You know what I'm saying? That's 9 times out of 10 a Venus in the Earth sign. Now, Venus in a water sign, these people feel the most. They feel the most. You could be a sun, moon, water, but the moon is a little bit stronger than the sun, but Venus in water is the consumption of emotional feelings. Now, see, if you have a moon in water and a Venus in water, what happens here is your emotional nature is going to take these feelings and understand them, and Venus is going to tap into your emotional stability nature and figure out which ways to spew these feelings it has. You know what I'm saying? So it could be a gift and a curse the way this works. It could work erratically, or it could turn chaos into formality. You know what I'm saying? These are people like that, are people who can take crazy, outrageous situations and bring everybody together. But if vice versa, they could take very stable and a very calm, cool, and collected group and turn everything into a motherfucking tsunami. Now people scattering everywhere. You know what I'm saying? People's emotions and feelings is everywhere. And you don't know what can happen in situations like that. You know what I'm saying? But Venus is anything you have Venus is how you handle your feelings. It's how you handle your feelings before it jump into your emotional nature and spark you to do certain things. You know what I'm saying? Venus is the feelings. It's how you deal with them. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, I love doing this, what I'm doing right now. So that's Venus. Now, my Venus is in Gemini. So, unfortunately, things I like doing deals with communication. That's why I got so many motherfucking rap songs. That's why I got so many. That's why I'm in front of this camera talking to you. Yap, 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 yap right now. My Venus is in Gemini. Now it's cuspy. It's 2-degree Gemini. So I got Earth quality in there, but that just means that I got a camera to talk to y'all about, to communicate to y'all with. That means I got a studio to make my music and communicate to the world with. I don't have to go nowhere else and do it. I got it. So that's what the little Taurus there, the last 29, the last bit of Taurus of the cusp, that's what it did for me. And it helped me lay a practical foundation down for me to do what I love to do, which is communicate what I'm doing right now. You know what I'm saying? And it's about knowledge. Gemini. Venus and Gemini. So people may come across and may think I'm not a touchy-feely type of person, which I'm not. You know what I'm saying? But they there. The feelings is there. Don't get me wrong, the feelings is there. But it's just the way I assess it. I don't feel like I need to express it if it's not worth the outlook that I might get from it. You know what I'm saying? See, this is what air and Venus signs think about. You know what I'm saying? And you know, man, that's like Venus in a nutshell, but nah, it really ain't, though. I just need to stop this video, but I can just go on and on and on and on about the history, about what the shit does and what certain life situations. Alright, for an example, I'm going to give you a situation that Venus is going to be most prominent, so you could be like, damn, that must have been my Venus. Alright, when it's time to, now, it deals with the moon and Venus a little bit, but mostly Venus. Like, when it's time for you to understand someone else's appreciation for something. Now, if someone is talking to you about something you give no fucks about, and you show you give no fucks about, then, but you don't express yourself by not giving a fuck about it, you just showing it through face expressions or through your actions. You know what I'm saying? It's like, right there, you could pinpoint that your Venus is working now. And you may be a Venus in a fire. You know what I'm saying? Because instead of expressing like how an air sign would do, you express it through body language and doing things and showing and doing it through actions, and just may not be listening or cutting that person off or something like that. Your Venus may be in fire. Now, if your Venus is in air, what happens here for you could get a hold of it is when it's time to listen to someone else's appreciation, and you don't give a fuck about it, but you express you don't give a fuck about it. You know what I'm saying? Through communication. So you may cut this person off and change the subject, or you may cut this person off and start talking about something you do, or you may let that person finish talking, then you don't even add to the conversation. You just straight up create your own conversation for them to relate to you about. Then 9 times out of 10, your Venus may be in air. Now, if you're the type of person, but see, the air is a little bit more understanding than the fire. Fire may not have the patience or may not have the energy to sit down and focus all the way into what you're actually talking about. So this is why they act like they may have ADD or something like that when you talking. Air signs may communicate their disliking or their liking to your conversation and may build on it, but they don't have a feeling behind it. It's all light, it's all surface level. And if they do appear to be getting deep, it ain't deep how you think it is, like y'all gonna connect. It's only deep like on a common sense type level or surface level. Now, if a person Venus is in water, these people can feel what you're saying. So if you're talking to a water and Venus person about something you appreciate that they don't give a fuck about, they're going to show the expression that even if they don't give a fuck about it inside, they're going to show the expression that they are listening to you. And if you do say something that sparks certain feeling into them, they will express a similar situation that they've been in to build on the conversation. So y'all can bond on a behind the scenes type level. Now, if the Venus is in an earth sign, this also does the water, but in an opposite way. Now, if they don't give a fuck about what you're talking about, they're gonna communicate to you maybe a certain level of common sense or a certain level of practicality for you not to come back to them with the same conversation. You'll have another input on it, or they will force you to do what you're talking about. You know what I'm saying? And look, and they may not give a fuck about what you're talking about inside, but they always willing to give advice. See, and give a positive advice or a negative advice. They may tell you that whatever you get into, leave that shit alone. But it's always practical, like that. It's not like the air, how they can just build on and talk about anything on top of what you're talking about. It's more like they hear what you're saying, and even though they may not give a fuck about it, they can give you some critical advice. You know what I'm saying? So that's how they work. And that's like anytime but it's many millions of other ways how you can capture when your Venus start working. You know what I'm saying? But that's just one example how you could tell when your Venus start working. When you're listening, which is the receiver, the females of the family is the receiver. So how you can receive whatever else someone else is talking about or doing. You know what I'm saying? How you receive that and how you start to feel about that is when Venus start working. You know what I'm saying? And then however you feel is going to get filtered through how much of an emotional person you are, which is your moon sign. And then that emotion is going to spark certain feelings into action. You know what I'm saying? Which is people only going to see it through your sun sign, which all these planets get filtered through your sun sign. I'm going to make a video about that too, how it gets filtered. And what runs through what before you can get to what out of sun. So before it get to the light. See, all this shit is the same how this world and this universe came into existence. The outer planets gets trickled down from a behind the scene level that you can't see, and then there was light, which is your sun sign. And your sun sign play all these into action. But the same way how it gets filtered from behind the scene, how the universe get created, and then there was light, is the same way how that happens with you. All these planets go back and forth, sextile, trines, squares, oppositions, conjunctions, inconjunctions, biquintiles, all that, boom, 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 till it gets to the light. Then when it gets to the light, boom, it comes out of your sun sign, and all as a mixture. You know what I'm saying? You can't pinpoint one person just because of one aspect in their chart. You have to add all aspects to come to one conclusion, which makes everyone different. Even twins, quadruplets, whatever. Triplets, whatever. But that's Venus, motherfucker. FlightBoss, bitch, you know, for sure. And